this is Farmer Jason here at Fruit Farm. This is video 2 of our series of how we plant strawberries. Video 1 showed how we go through all the steps and processes to get the soil prepped, all the different machinery we had to hook and unhook, and now what we're actually at is the part where we plant the strawberries. So the first thing I wanted to do is I want to show you what 13,000 strawberries looks like. So this is a pallet that came in from Crone Plant Farm. We get them out of Michigan. And they came to us here at Fruit Farm. And what they do is they wrap it in this protective casing so that they stay cool. Because they got shipped just like anything, just like a lot of our products do, via tractor trailer. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up and we'll pull the strawberries out, and then what we'll do is we'll figure out which ones we want to go in the ground first, second, third, all those kind of things. So we plant them so that they ripen from right to left in the field, so that way we have sort of a uniform pattern of how we plant. All right, so now what I'm doing is I'm searching through, and each box has a different variety in it. So what we're gonna do is, I don't even know if any of you realized or how many of you realized that we have a lot of different varieties out in the strawberry field. And what that does is that way if one variety doesn't have a good year, we can, have another one that has a better year. And so some of it is just figuring out, sometimes they're very sensitive to the weather. One variety might be more sensitive than another. The other thing is they're supposed to ripen at different times. So like the very first one I pointed out right there, the AC Wendy, is a very early strawberry. So it's gonna be one of the earliest strawberries to happen. And then I have some other ones in here called Valley Sunset, and they're gonna be the latest one. So they bloom about a week and a half, 2 weeks apart, and finish hopefully 1.5 to 2 weeks apart. Now some years like this year, I find they're all more compressed because of the cold, but that's at least what's supposed to happen in theory. So we're gonna get sorted out the earliest ones. I'm gonna start them first, and then we'll go from there. All right, so this is how they come in the box. And they come bundled in packs of 25. And so what we're gonna do now is we open them up and we put them in the pan. So we get the rubber band off. Now these guys, unfortunately, it was hot when they were shipping last week, so I don't like to see these little sprouts off the top. That's not ideal. It's better to have them still frozen and dormant, but they sprouted a little bit and that should be okay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put them in the pan. We're gonna get them all opened up because you'll see why that's important very shortly here. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get them all in the pan, get them opened up. All right, so we have them in the pan. You can kind of see the setup here. I have the tractor with that behind it. It's a beautiful day out in the field, so we're gonna start planting. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna take one. So what we have is we have these rubber gaskets here that take the plant. We're gonna take a plant from here each time, and we're gonna try, and it's gonna put them in the plant. It's gonna put them in the ground. All right, Fidel, make sure you're all the way down and go ahead. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take, and as he starts to move forward, we'll start putting plants into the ground. So it'll start to turn, and we go ahead and put one in, put another one in, put another one in. Whoop, missed one. Put another one in. Oh, one came back around. We'll get one in there. Get another one in. Oh, one came back around. And so we'll get another one in. And so as you can see, it's sort of tricky. You got to get the timing down just right, and we've got to get our touch on it just right, and we've got to get the machine working just right. So, all right, we're gonna stop here for a second. Go ahead and stop, Fidel. Woo! All right, so now what happens is we come back, and the machine gets them in the ground a little bit, but like this one's a little high, so we've got to push it back down in the soil. Same way with this one, as it didn't close up quite right, we probably still have a little adjusting on the machine to do. So we'll push that down in the soil, and we're just gonna give each one of them a little tamp down in. The ground on this side is a little bit harder. And so what I probably need to do is dial my machine down a little bit too. What I need to do is check and see. For some reason, I'm not going down as deep as I want, and that's why it's not planting. You can see right in here, that dish should be deeper down in the ground. So probably what I need to do is lift my arm over here. So what we're gonna do, I have an extra box there. I'm gonna pull it out and I'm gonna try to twist that arm up to give it a little bit more down pressure. So I'll be back with you. Let me twist that. I need both hands. All right, as we've been talking about machinery the last 2 episodes, I have it now. I adjust this arm shorter, but I'm not sure that's my only problem. We're gonna try picking up. All right, go down once, Fidel. We're gonna try to figure out right where our bottom needs to be. Down, right there. Whoop, stop right there. Go up just a little bit. Down, right there. All right, put that inside the tractor. We have little knobs on our arms to control it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna lift them up.
Number 1.
Yep, and then that way, what it'll do is it'll set our depth of the machine. And if we can get the back end down in further, they'll plant back. So I adjusted this 3-point hitch arm up and adjusted the arms up a little bit. And now what we got to do is see, let's see if that makes it plant a little bit better. All right, let's try that and we'll see if it'll plant a little bit better. All right, so what we're doing is on this first row, we're trying to plant these plants in, and it's just not going that well. The tractor's a bit crooked because of the bank, and because of that, you can see how I'm almost falling into Pablo here, and it's not going that well. You can see some of the plants are coming back up around, and that shouldn't happen. Right there, see how this one's coming back up around? That shouldn't be happening, but what's happening is we're so crooked going across this ground that they're not wanting to plant properly. So I think once we get out to the center of the field where we're not so crooked and I'm almost falling out of my seat, I think the machine will work a little bit better. It normally does. We normally have some of those problems anyway, but not normally this many. So what's happening is, as we're going along here, some of them are just coming back, and that's what makes this machine so hard. Because then what's gonna happen is we're gonna have to go back through and plant each one of those ones that don't plant by hand. But you can see how crooked we are and how much bumpy we're getting. It's just not working real well for us. Okay, Fidel, hold up. And so what's happened now is you can see we're not getting them to plant quite right. Like when they come around like that, they just fall off. So now what's gonna have to happen is we're gonna have to go back through by hand and plant these strawberries. So by hand, it's not real hard when the field's this soft and gentle. They go in pretty easily. What you wanna do, here's a strawberry plant. So this is called the crown right up here at the top, and that's where the plant, you can see the new plant's starting to come out of it already. And then these are all roots. These roots need to be down in the soil. So what you wanna do, if you're planting them at home, you're gonna take a little more time than this, but for us, with all the more we're planting, I literally take this plant, drag it across, drop it in the ditch that's been made by the machine, but it just didn't drop it in. So like this one, if we left it like this, would die. So we need to fold it back over and get that soil back on it. And so, Fidel, I need a couple here. All right. So right here we have, and so what happens is the machine not working won't stop us from getting what we need done. It just makes it take a lot longer, because rather than just having the machine happily do it for us, we're having to follow along with it, put them all in by hand. And so it's just taking us a while in this first row. Hopefully the second row will go better for us than it normally does. All right, so in farming, not only are I having problems with the things going in the soil, right here I have a chain, and it's wanting to pop out on me. Fidel, you want to go and pick up the machine once? We're gonna have to get this chain back on right. What happens is, whenever it's not going in the ground right, it drops the plants, and then the plants get in here on this wheel, and they cause it, keep going up, up, yep. And then they cause the chain to want to pop off. I don't know if you can see right there, it's not on the cog properly. So, yeah, keep going up once. Keep going up. Yeah, all right. Come back, and you're gonna spin this wheel backwards for me. So what we've got to do is we've got to try to figure out a way to get this back on. And see, this is the problem. They're coming back up around because we're not in level ground. All right, spin it backwards a little bit. You can see all the plants stuck in on that. Yep.
Forward or back?
Yeah, we got it. All right. A little bit, yeah.
Keep pushing.
No, go forward once. Go, turn it forward. Yep, keep going. There, we got it. All right, yep. It had a plant stuck in it right here. A plant stuck in it. And so what happens is when the plants get stuck in there, it wants to derail it. So this is the problem, but you can see we're still sitting so crooked that it's darn near impossible to plant right. So we thought we fixed it. We started back out, and here lies my chain. So what we're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to get it back on. We gotta clean all these plants off here first. There's just so many plants in there. The chain doesn't want to sit on it right. So this is the problem, is when things don't work well, one problem causes another problem, and so there we go. Got it all cleaned out now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this chain back around here. Turn that wheel backwards a little bit. Yep. Hold on, something's stuck. All right. All right, so something's stuck on it here somewhere. I have pressure off. All right, hold on, I'll be back with you. I gotta figure this one out. All right, when we last stopped, I was having problems with the chain. We got that solved. There's a little spring underneath here that we had to tension also. That was not our problem, but that's what I was trying to fix when my camera battery died. So now we're back at it. We are on row 3 now. We had started over there. We've done one more in this one. The first row was much harder. Since we've gotten past the first row, they've been going in much, much smoother. So we're gonna go along here for a little bit. We're gonna keep planting, and then we'll see how this keeps going. We've done roughly 3,000 out of 14,000 plants. Okay, Fidel, we're ready.
Yeah, it's all.
Now Fidel's going to be going nice and slow for us, or else we don't get these in. So the trick is to get them in fast enough that we can get done before the heat comes up, but to get them done properly. And so it's a tricky game. It's sort of monotonous, but also you got to hurry with each one, because the roots like that one stick together, and then some of the other ones, they like to fall apart. Some are big, some are small, so they're not all uniform. They don't like to come apart. You got to keep going, and you know the wheel just keeps going around, so you got to make sure that you get it done. The reason that I'm in a hurry to get it done today is tomorrow's supposed to be 90 degrees, so that means make it miserable for us out here. Today's already in the 80s and it's hot enough. And what's also going to happen is right now the soil isn't perfect because it's actually wet underneath. We've done this when it's real dry, and then we have to worry about stopping partway through the day and irrigating. Where with as wet as the soil is right now, we're going to be able to just keep on planting until we get done and then worry about irrigating. So it's a nice day to get it done. We're glad to keep rolling. If we have any breakdowns, we'll be back, show you those problems, but otherwise we're just going to keep doing this for the next 6-7 hours. All right, we stopped here real quick so I could turn off the camera. One thing I want to show you is you can see how moist the soil is. This is dry soil, and I'll put some of that on top. You can see how much the dry soil is compared to this wet soil that we have. And that wet soil is gonna be perfect for those roots to go into. You don't wanna put them right into that dry soil. We've had it before where this dry soil is what was the entire thing. And then what happens is the roots can dry out and the plants can die before they even get a chance to start rooting out. And so I'm happy the fact that the soil moisture is just perfect today, where it's a little dry and hot on the surface, so it's not gummy to get them in, but yet once we get them in, there's enough soil moisture there that we don't have to instantly worry about water them and trying to be watering and planting, and that's much harder. So perfect soil conditions. We're gonna keep taking our tractor and we're gonna keep planting. You know, I'll be back with you somewhere in the process. All right, we have a new recruit with us. Go ahead and put it in, hold it in tight. And so we're gonna teach Emma how to do this also. It's a family affair today. Woo. Hold it down in, nope, hold it down in. Put it right in like this and hold your finger on it. Put it down in like that and hold your finger on it. Hold your finger on it. Oh, nope, see, it fell out too early. Hold your finger on it till it closes. Put your finger on it, hold it on till it closes. Put your finger on it, hold it on till it closes. And so it's actually trickier too. And we showed you earlier today how we were having trouble with them coming around. These aren't coming around. Our problem with these is they're so big. Like, these are monstrous plugs. And so these are just monsters of strawberries. And so the problem is they actually don't want to fit in the little plastic cups. Okay, now Emma, the other thing to do is all you want in this is the top, not the roots. And the other thing to always make sure of is don't get your hands in the way of that, because that would hurt. So you want to make sure that you don't get your hands trapped in there, but by the same token, you got to hold on to them long enough. And so it's a tricky process. It's not easy to learn. Those are all the ones that fell out. Yep, you got to hold on to them. These ones are harder. All right, pull it back towards you a little bit. So what we're doing now is we're burying them in by hand. So what we've got to do is you dig a little hole. Oh, here, wait, no. See what you want to do. See all those roots were all bottled up? What you want to do is you want to take and make a nice hole with one hand, drop it in, and then bury it. That's how you want to plant them when there's no strawberry. You want to get them down nice in deep in the ground. You don't want to just kind of press them in. You want to dig a deep hole. All right, we're gonna go back at it. We have our newest trainee now doing that job of bucking it in. All right, Fidel, let's go forward. What happens is they just don't sit all the time all the best. And so we have to follow along. Not the world's fastest process in the world, but this is what it takes. We're now at about 9,000 of 14,000 plants. All right, Farmer Jason here. It's the end of a long day of planting strawberries. We got about 3/4 of the field planted. We'll finish up tomorrow at 6 o'clock, and we've all been doing this since 7:30 this morning. We started planting, I guess, right around 9, and so we've had a day of this. It's been a long day in the sun, a long day in the heat. Still not quite used to it. It is early summer, and so we've got all of this planted. You can see where the tractor's at. Not that much more field to go, so I appreciate you coming along with us. Tomorrow we'll just finish this up, and then we'll actually water them before it gets too hot. So thank you all for joining us. We appreciate you coming along, and have a great time, and look forward to eating these strawberries next year. But our strawberries are going to be ready very shortly. Thanks. Bye. All right, so I wanted to finish out the strawberries. The last thing we have to do is get them wet, because on these hot days, it can actually cause them to die. So what we did, we hooked up a little homemade contraption to one of our water tanks. And we're going along, and we'll put 500 gallons on 3 rows. And so what happens is the dirt goes from being real dry to super wet. And what it does is it takes that little strawberry plant. Right there's one hiding. Oh, let me get out of the sun here for you. Right there's one hiding. And so what it does is it locks in the roots, and it keeps that plant from dehydrating and gives it a chance to start growing. If it wasn't going to rain for quite a few days, we'd actually have to set up irrigation on this field. We'll probably go over it twice with that and get the soil nice and moist right around the plants. And then we're supposed to get rain tomorrow afternoon. So we're just going to try to keep them going until we get that rain. And then if we have a prolonged drought, we'll set it up. But by that point, they'll be a little bit more latched in. But you can see I have a couple wet rows already done, and the rest of the field is dry. So that's what we're going to work out the rest of the afternoon, is getting water on these plants and make sure they don't die. Well, thank you all for watching. That's how you commercially plant strawberry plants. We don't do a bazillion, but we do 14,000, so it'll be quite a few strawberries. Thank you all.